We then had Becky come out and confront Charlotte for the first time since WrestleMania, we were told, as if this was like 10 years ago. WrestleMania was fucking 2 weeks ago, people. It's still very much fresh in everyone's mind. They went back and forth on the mic for a little while. I mean, it was a good exchange. They have good chemistry together. But I'm just so sick of seeing Becky and Charlotte in the same ring. It had kind of, like, you know, they reached, it ran its course by, like, October. By, like, the Evolution pay-per-view. But they continued it, and continued it, and continued it, and continued it. And now we're getting another match between them at Money in the Bank. There are so many talented women on SmackDown, and I'm hoping they're just getting it out of the way, because Charlotte never, I mean, she technically wasn't pinned to WrestleMania, but she lost. She's a fucking loser. So I don't understand why the feud's continuing. Charlotte should just move on. But whatever. We got to get the whole Becky-Charlotte feud in here, even though we've seen it, you know, done to death over the last 8 months. Charlotte and Bayley had a good match. It was a number 1 contenders match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Charlotte went over clean. Bayley got a ton of offense here. I liked how aggressive she was, so that was a plus. A Bayley heel turn eventually, I feel, would be what's best for her. Because she was booed last week when she showed up on SmackDown and confronted Becky and was in the same segment as Ember. I would have loved to have seen Bayley or Ember take on Becky at Money in the Bank. Of course, it wasn't in the cards for whatever reason. Whatever. But yeah, with Bayley. So she's not going for the championship at Money in the Bank, which I feel like she would have lost anyway. So this might actually work out for the better, because this accomplishes a few different things. 1, it gets Charlotte away from the Money in the Bank briefcase. 2, it sets up Bayley to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. And 3, it also sets her up to win the whole thing. So this is my suggestion. You put Bayley in the ladder match, which you have to know she's going to end up in. There's not many other women on SmackDown that could be in the thing. I assume Kairi and Asuka and maybe even Mandy and Sonya will end up in the women's tag team title match of the show. So that eliminates them their participation in the match. But yeah, I would put Bayley in the ladder match, have her win the whole thing, and after Becky beats Lacey Evans and Charlotte at Money in the Bank, Bayley cashes in, and she turns heel. Maybe it's not, you know, Sunday, maybe it's the Tuesday after the pay-per-view, but Bayley cashing in like a la CM Punk back in 2009, who cashed in on Jeff Hardy, and people were like 10 years ago at this point, which is fucking crazy. I remember watching that as a kid. But yeah, you know, she cashes in, she goes heel because people love Becky, and it's a fresh feud. We have yet to see a Becky Bayley feud ever. They crossed paths a few times in NXT, never on the main roster. I don't think we have yet to see a Becky Bayley match on the WWE main roster, let alone a feud. With Bayley as the heel, I think that could be a lot of fun. Now, I know Charlotte's the lead heel right now on SmackDown, but I think it could work. I think it could absolutely work. So that's my booking scenario for Bayley. That's my fantasy booking for Bayley. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's just a thought.